Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy, I'm Chris the Dom One, and I am back with another video. I'm going to be talking about, it's still early in the season, how the Lakers are, well, right now they're on a winning streak. They beat the Grizzlies, and they had a great game with the Dallas Mavericks, and a lot of people are taking just a handful of games to determine are the Lakers in a good place right now. And right now, to me, the NBA season, particularly when you look at win-loss records and stats and things, and what the analysts are saying, particularly in a young season when you're only utilizing like 10 or 15 games early in the season to determine, is this team for real? And to me, I really don't do that, okay? I really kind of wait when it's halfway to the All-Star break, and that determines, are teams for real and are they not? You know, like the great Bill Parcells says, you are what your record is, okay? But let's talk about the Los Angeles Lakers, okay? I've seen a lot of significant changes on the roster, on coaching, and on what they're emphasizing. Last year, it was more of an up-tempo pace, trying to outscore their opponents and not really pressing in the half court or not even emphasizing defense. And that's a combination of their previous coach, the previous regime, and LeBron James. I think all three of them play a part and play a role on why the Lakers were not allocating a lot of their minutes on the defensive side of things. Okay, not to mention the fact they had a lot of rookies on the roster, a lot of young guys who are new to the NBA, and they sort of gotten rid of a lot of those younger players in return for veteran players. They wanted experienced players, okay? And that's what you got with this roster. You got LeBron James, you got Anthony Davis, you got Rondo, Kyle Kuzma, who's really technically not a stellar, one of those stellar old school veterans, but he's been in the league long enough to know some forms of X's and O's, as well as what you got on the bench, Dudley, Dwight Howard. The list goes on and on and on. I feel like, they don't have stars necessarily on their roster, but I do feel like they got players that know their role, okay? And everyone is sort of unique in their own way on this roster, okay? Clearly, LeBron James is really emphasizing the fact that this is Anthony Davis' team. This is not LeBron James' team, okay? And he's been really on the, when they have the ball, really pushing the ball, assisting, really trying to pass the ball to Anthony Davis, and for, particularly on the right play for Anthony Davis to score. Now, thus far, he has in these handful of games, he's really good on individual stats, and those individual stats equate to wins and losses, okay? I believe one time he had 10 plus in rebounds, as well as he scored 40 points. And, like I said, the only problem with Anthony Davis, in my opinion, is Anthony Davis cannot stay healthy in an 82-game series. 82-game season. He's, and if you just look at the record, what he did with the New Orleans Pelicans, he just could not stay on the floor throughout his career with the New Orleans Pelicans, okay? So, and he's been having a lot of nagging injuries. The latest injury is about his shoulder, but that's the only concern I have about Anthony Davis. If he can stay healthy and play through the whole 82, I'm clear. Obviously, they're going to have load management for Anthony Davis. They're not going to let him start every single game, okay? So they're going to pick their spots on when to play him and when not to play him. They're going to check out his usage rate, his minute rate, as far as time on the court. And the same is going to be said about LeBron James. When you look at LeBron James, he's not the same LeBron James as when he was with Miami or the second go around with Cleveland. I thought those were his prime years, okay, where LeBron James could dominate. And the only reason why he didn't totally dominate because he's not a possessive type of player where he wants a lot of possessions. He's more so of a player that wants to throw the ball around to his teammates, okay? And that worked in Miami and as well as in Cleveland when he paired up with when he had Kevin Love, and man, I forgot his name already. He's with the Brooklyn Nets, but it'll come to me. So when he had that cast in Cleveland, it was that's what J.R. Smith. That's what he continued to do. Okay, so LeBron James understands this late in his game, this in his career, he's not going to be the same LeBron James he was with Cleveland and Miami, second time in Cleveland. Okay, now when you get Rondo is like a mixed bag. You really don't know what type of Rondo you're going to get. He played pretty fairly with the Lakers last year. He had some nagging injuries, but my only concern about Rondo is if you just look at his career, he's never been a career, he's been up and down on his average when it comes to scoring, anything beyond 10 feet. And Kyle Kuzma has developed that sort of habit where one game he can score 40, 50 points, and then the next game he'll probably score 5 or 10 points, okay? You never know what you're going to get out of Kyle Kuzma. Now, over the summer, he has worked on his perimeter game, and it remained to be seen what we're going to get out of him. When you talk about Dwight Howard, clearly this is not the Dwight Howard when he went to the finals with Orlando. I think that was the best version of Dwight Howard, in my opinion. And thus far, he has, he has degressed, not progressed, but degressed. Okay, so, but that's not what they got Dwight Howard there for. Is to him, it might be a few games he may start, but in other games they just put him in certain packages and things of that nature, and also give Anthony Davis a breather. And they're waiting, and Dwight Howard is a stopgap until they get Boogie Cousins back on the court, even though Boogie Cousins is going to return on the court, but it's going to be late, much late in the season, possibly in the postseason. Okay, so that's what you get there. Dudley, that's your fearless defender that you pair him up to the other scorer, and he probably tries to intimidate them. And he's the Draymond Green without the Draymond Green talent for the Lakers. But I still feel like, I feel like they're like a player away either from trade or from free agency. I felt like this would have been the perfect team for Carmelo Anthony to join if the Lakers wanted Carmelo Anthony. I still feel like Carmelo Anthony is still better than the 50 and above best player in the NBA, in my opinion. He's not the same Carmelo Anthony with like in Denver or the first half when he was with the New York Knicks, but still, you put him in certain packages and in certain situations, he can easily get 10 to 20 points, okay? I don't think that the 30-point Carmelo Anthony, you're never going to see that player again, but he's clearly the type of player when you're struggling to get a shot, or like Kyle Kuzma is having an off night, you could put Carmelo Anthony in there and roll the dice if he could score for your team. I think the weaknesses for the Los Angeles Lakers for this roster is is scoring. Scoring wasn't a problem last year. It's going to be a problem this year, okay? And they're going to have a lot of nights where they're going to struggle to score. Now, the bright side for the Los Angeles Lakers, the Golden State Warriors are not as dominant as they once was in previous seasons. KD, because of KD. Now Steph Curry's injured, and now they're waiting on Klay Thomas. All they have now is Draymond Green and D'Angelo Russell. And, D'Angelo Russell, he's the type of player, and I've seen this a time or two with several players in the NBA where they can score. I mean, their talent can, elevate their individual contributes. Their individual contribute to themselves. But when you apply what they did on the court versus how that impacted the team on wins and losses, it doesn't resonate as far as wins go. You're going to see a lot of flashes in him. You're going to see a lot of 30-point games. You're going to see a lot of 5 or 6 assists. You're going to see maybe a couple of steals. You're going to see the flash and all that stuff. But how does that translate and transcend to the Golden State Warriors when it comes to the wins and losses? Okay, because unless Steve Kerr completely overhaul how they do things, until they get their players back, maybe focusing on the defensive end and slowing the game down somewhat, making possession shots instead of just going down and shooting within 10 or 15 seconds. This is where, this is why you spend a lot of money on coaches, because coaches figure out things when the majority of their roster is injured, and Steve Kerr is going to have to figure it out. But when you got the Golden State Warriors, the Sacramento Kings, and like I told you guys earlier, last year, teams to look out for: the Phoenix Suns, Sacramento Kings. I feel like those two teams are going to, have very productive seasons. Okay, they're not going to be the teams that you can beat up on. And the Dallas Mavericks, they're a tough out. Okay, but nevertheless, the West has gotten stronger. Okay, and the teams that the Golden State Warriors used to beat up on consistently, including the Lakers and the Clippers, those teams have gotten better, and the Golden State Warriors have pretty much gotten a step slower. So everyone has caught up and passed the Golden State Warriors, including the Denver Nuggets. Okay. So the Denver Nuggets, the Phoenix Suns, and the Sacramento Kings, I told you guys last year, be on the lookout for those teams, because those teams are going to be on the rise, okay? But nevertheless, the Lakers, I feel like that is going to be a major concern for them, is how they're going to keep up scoring-wise. And when you got several players that are in droughts, what is the team going to do responding beyond that? Another thing is health. Dudley is an injury risk. Anthony Davis is an injury risk. Rondo can be an injury risk. And yes, even LeBron James, the great LeBron James, can be an injury risk. Okay. If he slows down a little bit, which he's doing right now, keep feeding Anthony Davis the ball, but there's going to be times in the season where he's going to miss a multitude of games. Okay, then who's the next man up? Okay, is it Kyle Kuzma? Is it LeBron James? Okay, so as far as scoring and health goes, those are the two major concerns I have for the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay, so that's all I got for today. I'll try to get back with you guys later. Just hit me up in the comment section. Tell me what you guys think. It's your boy, I'm Chris the Dom 1, and I am out.